Hello and welcome. Today we are decluttering some makeup and sadly I'm getting rid of a whole bunch of palettes, probably about half of what I've got because I like to keep things clean and fresh, and I do use a lot of clean beauty, natural beauty kind of products. So I want to make sure that I'm not keeping things too long, which is really, really hard because like the more, something costs, and like the more I love it and whatever, the harder it is to get rid of things, and then especially if you can't replace it. So there are things in here that I cannot replace. Aether Beauty recently shut down, and they have made my favorite eyeshadow for many years, so I am super sad about that. But I'm also happy that I found other things. I'd say my new favorite eyeshadow has been Phytosurgents for the last couple of years. I really love them. I also have appreciated a lot of the stuff that Moira's come out with. So there's a lot of good other things, and that kind of helps, get rid of some old things. And I will 100% admit that I've also repurchased some of these things when when I'm able to get them. The ones that I thought that I would really like to still have, and I just, got a fresh one. So we're going to start over here with the Timtalia palettes from Sydney Grace. These are absolutely gorgeous, but I think because the Sydney Grace formula is so pigmented, this is probably my favorite of them. And also the fact that sometimes there's things in here that can bother me, like I think there's a few that have carmine, that sometimes I shy away from them, and I've really not used them as much. They're super gorgeous, but like almost more colorful and pigmented than what I am currently preferring. So I think I'm going to put these on Mercari. So this one's really pretty. This is On the Horizon. This one is also very pretty. I would say this one is slightly less wearable, and the last time, was it this shade or was it the other palette? I think it was the other palette I wore to be it was like kind of a last minute costume to be the night sky for Halloween, and that one unfortunately did irritate me. I just have extremely sensitive eyes, so it's kind of hard to predict, but I mean, these are gorgeous. This one is Quintessence, and then the last one is Radiant Reflection, and I think this is maybe like the hardest one to wear. Yeah, this is the one that I did to be the night sky, and it was beautiful. But I think maybe some of the, I don't know, some of the colorants maybe had bothered me a bit. I'm obsessed with that color, but I just don't get enough use out of them, so I'm going to put them on Mercari and see if somebody else will get more use out of them. These are the True and Luscious Lucky Glow palettes. This is volume 2. I just don't use them. They're pretty, but yeah, I have other bronzers. This is definitely too dark for me. Yeah, I just haven't used them. So I'm going to let those go. This is the volume. Is this the volume 1? Yes. Very similar colors. There's the same one. So it's like I have things I don't use in both palettes. I do like the bronzer shades, and they're very nice and creamy. But yeah. Oh, so at this point, I won't have any face palettes, and I'm okay with that. Because I just, have other things that I'm using. So I really have liked Lovinah makeup. As far as I can tell, they are no longer producing makeup. So they're just Lovinah skincare now, which is unfortunate because I really liked their makeup. I did try their skincare, and it was just way too intense for me. It had just a lot of stuff that I reacted to, and yeah, I used one of their masks and I was in pain, and it's sad because they're very beautiful, and I really like them as a company, but yeah, I can't use their skincare. Their eyeshadow I loved, but you can still get these a few places, but they don't seem to be making eyeshadow anymore. So this is the Lovinah Eye of the Sahara palette, and when I bought this, it said it was cream, and so I thought I was buying cream eyeshadow, and then I got it, and it's just like a really nice creamy powder eyeshadow. And because these colors are so basic and matte, and they're also really, really super pigmented, which is great. They just, like, I overlook them a lot, and I've had this quite, several years, so it's time for that one to go. This is the Eye Magic palette. This is the one that I repurchased, so I bought a fresh one of these. I am absolutely obsessed with this green shade here. I would say this is like kind of similar to the older Aether formula that I loved, but even more pigmented. These are really nice, so I did repurchase this palette. I love this palette. I could live without it without the green, but I really need that green in my life, so I did buy this one again. And then this one is really pretty too. This is the Goddess Glow. But this one I did not get again because I didn't tend to use like very many of the shades. I really like this one right here. I use that one sometimes. Basically like stuck to the top row, and then these bottom ones like I could maybe use as like a liner, but I rarely did. Although I do like that shade as a liner. But yeah, so currently I'm not planning on getting this one again, although I do kind of wish I could just get that shade. But yeah, I don't feel like I need the whole palette again. Okay, so then we get into the Aether things. So I'm super sad about Aether closing, but as I've held on to a lot of things that you can't get for a long time, and as much as I love them, it just doesn't make sense to keep things, when they're several years old. And there's some things I've been hanging on to too long here. So I got new versions of the things that I could get, and the other things it is time to clean out and move on, as sad as it may be. But yeah, I will miss Aether a lot. So this one is the Moonlight Crystal palette. I was able to get a backup of this very cheap. I do tend to stick to the left side of the palette, but it is beautiful. This is kind of when their formula changed a bit, when they started doing this new packaging, and things were just different. And then they went to BoxyCharm, and so there's like a million of these palettes floating out there. So my backup was quite inexpensive, which was nice. But yeah, I do like these shades a lot, and then I'll kind of dip into these. I don't use the ones on the right super often, but yeah, this is a nice palette. So I did get a backup of this. This is the newer version of the Rose Quartz palette. So I did get a fresh one of this as well. It's beautiful. I am a fan, but I still miss the original, which is this one. But this one's just very old. But I felt like these were great. I especially loved this one here. But you can see they're hard panning. They're getting old, and kind of, this one's got dots on it. But yeah, this is beautiful. For a long time I couldn't get this palette when they first came out with it because it had bismuth oxychloride in it. And when they removed that, I was so happy. So loved this, but at least I have the new version. This one I will also miss. This is the Joshua Tree Desert Matte palette. And I do wish I could get a fresh one of this, but it is very, very discontinued, like a couple years discontinued. And I will say, like, these mattes were not as pigmented as their shimmers, but I do really love these colors. This one is their newest palette. This is the Amethyst Crystal Manifest palette. And that is really pretty, and I was able to replace this, which is great because it is absolutely gorgeous. And the one they sent me, my new one, was this shadow was cracked, and even after they closed, I asked them if they could replace it, and they sent me a new one. So I kind of have a backup, like I'm going to keep the old one with the broken shadow, just, in case I want that in the future. I was also able to get a refresh of this one, which is the Desert Sunset palette. So that one's beautiful. I'm not like as big into warm tones, but I like this, and I love the pop of coral. So glad I was able to still get that. This is the absolute hardest one to get rid of. This is the first Aether palette I ever had. It is the Crystal Grid Gemstone palette. It is absolutely beautiful, but I've hung on to this way, 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 way too long. This formula was the absolute best. It's like, well, probably not anymore, but like very creamy and super pigmented, but not like too pigmented for me. I absolutely love this palette. I'm sad to see it go, but it is time. Next up, we have the Summer Solstice palette. This is kind of like the desert one, like the earlier version, and it was also quite nice. Again, I just don't gravitate to these colors as much as the others, because I'm more of a cool toned girl, but yeah, this one was really nice. I do kind of like the new version better because I like the pop of coral. Okay, then we get into these face palettes, and they haven't made these for a long time, so again, hard to get rid of, but like this is getting pretty like the formula was really, really nice, and it's just kind of getting dusty and like less pigmented, and it's time. So this one is the Crystal Charged Cheek Palette Rose Quartz. That's very pretty. The highlighter over here is pink. This is a good one. And then this one was the amber version. So this one's a little bit deeper and it's peach tones. This one is almost like too much for me, but they're really pretty. This one's quite nice. But yeah, so those are going to go just because of age. And then we get into some of these smaller ones. This one's older. This is the Topaz Mini Crystal Palette. That one was pretty. At the time that they did this, there was also a purple one that I got rid of a while ago because that one bothered my eyes, but this one was good. And then this is the other thing I'm super, super sad about getting rid of is these highlighters. This is my absolute favorite. This is the Pure Supernova Crushed Diamond Highlighter with, this is a Pure Diamond Dust shade. And this is just like the absolute most beautiful, creamy, like, yeah, it's magical, but it is time. I've had it many years and it needs to go. And as sad as I am to be getting rid of these, this one is the other one of those. It's the Pink Diamond Dust. I don't have the yellow one. That would have been too deep for me. Although I think you can still get the yellow one on maybe BoxyCharm. So that is the Pink Diamond Dust one. I just love these. They have the best texture. Obviously, it's not as good as it used to be, but they're magical. So I will miss them a lot. This one, luckily, I was able to get a backup of. This is the Citrine Crystal Quad, and I quite liked this. So I did get a new one of this. And then this one was sold out. I might at some point pick up another one. But yeah, this is the Rose Quartz Crystal Quad. So that one's nice, but it's not, I don't like it as much as the Citrine, so I'm glad that I was able to get the Citrine. All right, so here's another one that's really hard to get rid of, but I'm going to do it. This is the Phytosurgence Orchid Overload. As you can see, it expired last fall, so it needs to go. This is absolutely magical, but it is old. I have replaced my original Phytosurgence eyeshadows. Are we sensing a theme here? Here's the things I'm going to miss that have been discontinued. But yeah, so this is the Orchid Overload. I really hope that this shade comes back at some point, and I will absolutely get it again. But I don't need to use this expired one anymore. I have the new Phytosurgence eyeshadows, so I have most of them, and I am very happy with them. So yeah, absolutely love Phytosurgence, and now that Aether's gone, it is, you know, definitely just over and over my go-to top eyeshadow. It is the thing that I find, you know, just the best on my sensitive eyes. It's not irritating, and I just, yeah, like, they're absolutely gorgeous. They stay all day. I love Phytosurgence, so really happy that I have those. These are the M Cosmetics Serum Blushes. I'm just over them. They technically expired in May. They seem like they're still okay, but I just don't like this formula, so it's time. I love this color, but I was able to get the Tower 28 Purple, the Party Hour shade, and I think I'll like that a lot better, because I just don't like this serum blush formula. It kind of, I don't know, it's like sticky and it's hard to get out. Like, this is not a great delivery system. This is the old packaging, so I know the new ones are supposed to be better, but this one is Venetian Rose, and then this one is called Little Lilac. So I absolutely love Little Lilac color-wise, but I'm really into like purpley, pinky, cool tone blushes, you know, like everyone else on the planet. But yeah, love those. We have this Tower 28 Bronzino Thin Coast. I did not get enough use out of this. Why am I showing you this hand when we're opening this product? Because these are rolling away and I'm getting distracted. So this is just too light for me to be a bronzer, and I don't tend to use like a warm toned like highlighter, so I just haven't gotten enough use out of this, and it is expired. So that one is time to go. But yeah, so I won't get that again. But I have several other cream bronzers that work as cream bronzers these days. This is like a little mini of the Kosas Airbrow. It's clear. I went through one of these last year, but I don't know. I think clear gel, clear brow gel just is not my thing, because I don't like want to fluff my brows up or anything. Like, I'm not into that look. So this just has no use for me, and I'm just using the Beauty Pie one with tint to it. I really like the colors of these Pacifica pencils. These are eyeliners, and they're beautiful, but they smudge really bad. Love that mint. But yeah, it's time. I've had these several years, and they're old, and they're just, I don't tend to reach for them because they go all over the place. So, as you can see, very pretty. This is a Sephora, that's the Colorful Shadow Liner, and I love this. This is probably my favorite shade of all of them. It's a dark taupe shimmer, but this one has completely gummed up and told me it's time to go. Like, it does not produce color anymore, so that one is definitely dead. This is the Beauty Pie Deluxe Precision Liquid Eyeliner. I really like this. It has a 6-month shelf life, and I think I've had it about a year. I'm not a big, I don't use liquid eyeliner like in the traditional way, but like now that these pens exist, I can actually handle these. So as you can see, it's really pretty, and this is not used up by any means. It's just old and needs to go. I did get the new one. I got the brown one to replace this just to try something different. So I have the brown one now, and I quite like it. And then this is my old Rojo Mentholatum Melty Cream Lip. This is the honey one, and this is my favorite lip SPF. I ordered some from Lovinah because these are a couple years old, and I think that they're probably not very effective sunscreen anymore. So I got 4 of the fragrance-free. So I figure I have 2 for me and 2 for David, and that way, you know, we can kind of keep it around all the time. But yeah, this is like the one that I love. I don't taste it, and I like taste most of them, and they're gross. So yeah, this is the one for me. And that is all of the things that I am decluttering. It is bittersweet, but it's also really good to like get out old stuff and have fresh things to play with. So yeah, I try to keep things, you know, not just sitting around collecting dust. So I feel good about this. Yeah, so that is my palette declutter, etc. And thank you so much for watching.